a lot of time and thought that goes into everything. But the few friendships that I have managed over time, like some that I've been before,
Yeah.
and funny enough, it was those that I met and they didn't know who I was, and then
Yeah.
they find out, and I'm like, well, it's too late. We're friends now, so hey, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, but I
You
mean,
know me now.
you know me now. But I think a lot of it boils down to communication and just making sure that you guys are really on the same page and just what the both of you want in terms of a friendship. I think everyone has different expectations,
Mm.
and what I more than anything is that the older you grow up, guys, please talk. You'll find that a lot
Yeah.
of things, and if you don't know those things, and then your friendship goes sour, and then you go back and you're like, yo, how did we get here? Kante,
Yeah.
and you didn't communicate those, or the expectations might have changed, and then you're resenting a person for not living up to those very expectations that they didn't know about. So I
Mm.
think this boils down to communication and just a mutual respect. More than anything, it's respect. I think
Mm.
friendships are mostly based on respect, because even if it stands the test of time, and even if it doesn't, there'll still be that respect there that, yo, you were a big part of my life, you still are a big part of my life,
Mm.
and might have either happened in the past, or I might not see you as much as I do or as I used to. You and I might have seen each other every single day, and then all of a
Mm.
sudden we'll see each other. I can tell you this for free. My best friend, Candace, I love that girl. I see her once a year.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the same thing that like
What?
for me when it comes to like managing old friendships, I don't feel that I have to manage my old friendships. That's the thing. Because a lot of the friendships, yeah, a lot of my friendships, because I'm somebody who's I'm very protective of my space and I'm very selective of who becomes my friend.
Yeah.
Extremely selective. Oh my god, there's like a bee fest happening in my house right now. I don't know what's happening. Excuse me, let me just open the door. There's like 7 million bees.
Not a problem.
I hope none of these bees are like the queen bee because then these bees are gonna come for me. But nonetheless,
That bitch be huge. You'll know when it's the
I really hope it's not. But anyway, as I was saying, apologies for that. I was just basically saying how I think a lot of my friends have always known how much I want, certain ambitions that I'm currently living out. And when you have your friends that know how much things have always meant to you and how much you've always yearned for something and how much you had and how hard you work for things, I feel like they do not make things personal. I don't think friendship is taking someone's successes and making it personal to yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think it's very important to, my friends have been very good at calling me out, which is one thing that I appreciate. My friends
yeah.
are very good at calling me out and saying, I feel like I need more of your time. I feel like I need you to be more attentive. I feel like you're losing track of things. And the reason that I appreciate that and I never take it personal, because the other things that once you do get into the public eye and once you do have the whole, fame and glitz and glamour, you also need to realize that the people in your life are not there to, excuse my French, but kiss your ass. They're not there to try and get your approval because those are your friends. They've been there. So you also need to be open to your friends calling you out and telling you, dude, listen, yes, you're allowed to change, but you're becoming somebody else, you're losing track of things. So for me, I think the thing that was very important that I really appreciate about my friendships from childhood and high school and all of that is that they're very open and honest with me. They'll tell me like, now this is not like you. Or maybe they'll say to me like, dude, I know that you're busy, but I need to see you here and I need to see you there. And most of my friends, I only see them once every 4 weeks, once every 6 weeks. It was even worse when I was on set. Like whenever I'm on set, my friends are like, any opportunity we get to see each other, they're like, yes, let's go, let's hang out. So I think it's also about having friendships that understand that we're adults and the dynamics of friendship change when you're adults. It's a very weird transition that you go into once you become an adult and we have jobs and we have lives and we have children and we have this and we have that, is that you can't take someone's life transformation personally. You
Mm.
just need to then, as a friend, be vigilant of the things that you feel you're being abandoned. If you feel like you're being abandoned, be vigilant, communicate it. But I don't think you should communicate it with entitlement of saying, I'm telling you that you're not there and therefore you're this and you're that. And you know what I'm saying? So that transition of childhood friendships to adult friendships is it's a very important one
Mm.
because it also tests the foundation of your friendship where you get to see what was our friendship started based on.
Yes.
those things come to life. Like I know, for example, with if we look at Nick and Rachel, for example, their friendship just started off the fact that they were stealing things together.
Sorry.
Not a problem.
I'm getting you. Say hi to Nell.
He gets so big every time I see him. Gosh.
For the other dog. But if you want to go ahead and then you can go play with Ben, then you can. Yeah. Okay.
He's so big. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. He's so big.
Yeah. No,
But yeah, basically, like to just wrap this question up, I feel like it also, you need to be okay with friendships outliving themselves. You need to be okay with outgrowing people. Sometimes it's not like we're beefing or that like something is wrong. It's like I still got mad love for you, you still have mad love for me, but we're in different phases of each other's life right now, and we don't need to be close. It's okay. Like what we have, it's fine. I still love you. We're still good.
no, and I mean, just to piggyback off of that, like it's okay when directions change, you know. I mean,
Mm,
not everyone is always on the same path. Like y'all could be on the same path, and then Mangiti there's a whole crossroad, and like one person will go
mm,
there, and that's nothing bad happened, or that it's just bad blood. It's that's really the way of life. We all have very
mm.
paths. Some of them connect, some of them split, and that's fine. And we have to be okay with that and surrender
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, the next question says, how hard is it finding love and true friendship without feeling like you're being used? I know you and I have had this conversation, but I don't know if you want me to go first. So, Sadie and I have actually had this conversation where we were, having our own stories, but that's a topic for a whole other day.
Mm.
I think for me, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and say, no, man, it's easy. You can just go for it and whatever. Because also the other thing about being in the public eye is that there's a lot at stake that's not just you. There's a lot of other things that are at stake. So now it's not just your reputation or your brand. It's the people who you're working with, your family that's attached to you, your friends who are attached to you. There's other people who are working hard for what they have that you're attached to, and anything that you do can sort of, it could come back to bite them. So I think when it comes to love and friendship, especially when it comes to being in a relationship, and I'm very young, and I've told Seddi this, that I struggle so much with like dating and navigating myself in everything that's happening, just because you really don't want to give everyone so much access to you that they feel they can just say whatever they want about your life. And
Absolutely.
also the other thing is that you don't know, when it comes to love and dating, you actually don't know if somebody is with you because there's benefits to it, or if they're with you because they actually like you as a person. But on the contrary to that,
I now know how. I figured it
okay,
out. I have figured it out. It is the
okay,
yeah.
share, do tell.
So initially it'll be someone that is either in your space, like in that type of creative space, or someone that's acquainted with that space in some form or fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
The shot that will be shot is too random for you to believe it's genuine. It comes out
Okay.
of, and I'm not saying that those random ones don't happen. Like it's not like a matter of me opening up a DM and then seeing, hey, I know you know this person. I was just thinking maybe you and I could get to know each other.
Yeah.
But then when you kind of look at who this person is affiliated with, and then you see what else they've done, then you kind of go, I don't know. I don't know about you, bro. And then you're like, okay, take it slow. I think my biggest lesson is to take everything slow, because
Mm-hmm.
only if they really want to get to know you, they will be patient enough.
Mm.
And if they're not patient enough, like literally, there was one guy who tried to holler or tried to shoot his shot, and immediately I'm like, uh-uh. I don't.
Mm.
Already, guys, if please trust your intuition, trust your vibes.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't believe you. I don't know why I don't believe you. And he's like, nah, it's not that I'm looking for a job or whatever. Like, nah, I'm not that type of person. Don't think I'm those type of people. I'm like, I never said you were, but it's interesting you brought that up. Why would you bring that up? Oh,
Uh, uh,
why would you bring that up at
yeah.
first? Said that, but
Yeah.
you so. And he's like, no, because
Yeah.
I'm so that you are. And I'm like, that you keep encountering. And I'm like, but how would you know that?
How would you? That's the other thing, right? I think the other thing is that if you actually listen to the things that someone says to you when they first meet you, you'll be able to tell. Sometimes there's a difference between somebody who's like, oh, nah, dude, I've seen your stuff. I know who you are. You're doing really well. You know, shout out, da, 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 da. And somebody who finds little moments to sneak in the fact that they know that you did this and they know that you did that and they know
Yeah.
that you're like this. And just those small things where you're just like, did you stalk me? Or have you, wait, what, do you know, especially for somebody who's in your space, you're able to tell, like, like what you just said about the instinct wanting to shoot your shots is so accurate. Because if you and I have bumped into each other, or you and I have been in each other's spaces, or we have mutuals, you've never on any random day shown an interest in me. All of a sudden you're coming head on straight, and you're just like, let's. And the other thing as well is that with this is going to sound so crazy, but one thing that I've realized is that with friendship and with love, when you're in the public eye, you really need to be with somebody who is so rooted in what they do that they're not taken by the water and the air. You know what I'm saying? And I've always said, like, not to say you must be with somebody who has as much to lose as you do, but you need to be with somebody who your guys' dignity stand is at the same level. Because the problem then is that when you deal with somebody whose dignity fluctuates depending on the situation and the circumstance, you end up put in situations where that person strips you of your dignity just to get themselves out there. It's a very tricky game. It's a very tricky game, but I honestly feel like I always just, I don't know, man, energy is very big. I'm very big on energy. Like, I'm very, very big on energy.
Yeah, and you'll find that's actually what Nick did.
Yes.
So, like, literally, it was that mutually assured destruction where you think you're all under the same boat, and then only to find, no, they were using you to up themselves in whatever way.
Yeah.
And you were then you were then thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
Because it was like, pullover for one. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the craziest thing with unfortunately we're going to have, this is going to have to be the last question, guys, because I don't want this live to be too long. But that's the craziest thing as well with Nick and with Alexis, right? Is that Alexis wasn't even involved in this thing like that. She only did it once, right? She only did it once, but because she was the most famous, for lack of a better word, and she was the one in the forefront and everything, it looked like she was the main guy. If you look at the movie The Bling Ring, they make her the main leader of the ring, when in actual fact she was only there for like one hit, and then she was out. But that's the thing that you also realize when it comes to friendship and love, when you have a brand to protect, is that sometimes it's not about the situation. Sometimes your name being there is why this thing is such a big deal. Yeah. Sometimes it's just like a thing of, no, man, but guys, those are arguments that happen between friends. Like, why are we making a big deal out of it? But if it's like Seddi and Noah were busy calling each other out in the middle of the club, then it's like, oh, snap, okay, cool. So the problem isn't what's happening. It's more the people involved. Yeah.
And I think with that then comes, which is why I find it then becomes very hard for creatives or even children or family of creatives to then just live normally in that sense. Because let's put it this way, if I get into an accident, or if I like have a fender bender and I hit someone from the back, right, take my name out of it. Hey man, there's an accident on the N1, put my name back in. Daughter of Connie Ferguson runs into car on the
yes
what did you
yes And then all of a sudden they spice. Daughter of Connie Ferguson drives a car that was loaned from the shop, and her father's this and this. And you're just like, wait, this is such a simple thing. Why are we making it such a big deal?
Just because of the name, because they know the name is what will bring traction.
Yeah.
No matter what it is you do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Alexis fell into that trap because of the people that around her. They used her, and then unfortunately she was the one who took the fall the hardest, because it looked like she was the ringleader.
Yeah.
And wasn't.
She really wasn't, Shemwana. But anyway, guys, just to close this thing off, I don't know, Seddi, any words of advice for anybody who is possibly thinking of going into the public eye, or just anybody that is struggling with friendship in general? Just any words of advice from your experience and from your side of things.
Hi, SR squad. Now, guys, if you can hear me right now, it means that you have watched the video till the end and probably watched all the ads. So, thank you so much for supporting your girl. And maybe we can also continue talking about what we have just had. And I just think that sometimes coming from a good background where your parents are like rich, sometimes it's really hard to make friends, even if it's not like you coming from a good background or having rich parents. Just you doing good in your life, just making sure that you are doing good for yourself. It's really hard to meet new people who are like genuine, to make friends that really want you, that really like needs you and love you, want you around, not only because they want to benefit from you. So I think these two beautiful ladies raised a very good point, especially in this day and age where we live. Like everybody's just looking out for themselves and trying to see where they can benefit, how they can get this and this from you, and people can really drain you and pretend all this time. Someone can be with you for like 10, 20 years, knowing very well that they don't want you, they just want to benefit. And once everything is sorted for themselves, then you'll never see them around. Now, as our squad, do comment down below and let me know how is it been for you, like making friends and meeting new people, and trying also to look for someone who you can spend the rest of your life with. How is it been? Is it easy, tough? Let's engage in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching.